I'm a trust fund baby, and I know what you're thinking. You probably have an image of some stuck-up guy who goes to an elite school simply thanks to their father's connections. Dock shoes, shorts in pastel colors that always have to be above the knees so they can show off my weird knees. Oxford shirts tucked in so everyone can see my Hermes belt, rolled-up sleeves, and a Shetland sweater permanently draped over my shoulders, even when in the middle of summer. And you'd be right, that's totally me. Hi, my name's Amos. One day, I bet my frat bros that I'll be the first one amongst all of us to date every single girl on campus. I was arrogant about it, for sure. And behind my girlfriend, Portia's back, I started dating every girl I met just to win the bet. Popular girls, nerd girls, band geeks, cheerleaders, outcasts, goths, emo chicks. You name it, I've gone out with it. But then, I met her. She was some unfortunate girl I bumped into at the convenience store. I recognized her, and at first I found her really pretty. But then, I saw her wearing a uniform that had the convenience store's logo on it. And then, I realized she was poor. Hey, aren't you that girl who sits behind me during econ? Sammy? Sadie, that'll be $42.69. Here, keep the change. Hey, I'm having a party at my dad's lake house this weekend. Wanna be my date? Aren't you going out with that hotel heiress? Who? Portia? No, don't worry about Portia. I'll pick you up at 8 on Saturday. Cool? Oh, okay. Cool. Sadie was so easily impressed. Her eyes sparkled when I picked her up in my Ferrari. When she saw the lake house, I swear she had to pick her jaw up off the floor. Sadie had lots of fun that weekend. She met my dad and my friends. She got to ride on her first speedboat. By the end of the weekend, she was absolutely in love with me. And by Monday, I'd moved on to the next girl. I broke Sadie's heart, and she wanted nothing more in the world than revenge. Sadie knew she caught my dad's eye during that weekend, and so she married him just to spite me. I thought that was it, but as soon as she moved into the house, she convinced my dad to cut me off. Sadie threw my stuff out of the window and banished me from my own house. My cards were canceled, my trust fund was renounced. I lost everything. I stayed at a friend's apartment for a while, and then I had to start working. I became a boyfriend for hire out of desperation. I needed to make ends meet, an expression I had never used in my life before that moment. I started my own website, and I used my looks for money. At this point, Portia still had no idea about anything going on behind her back. She was utterly clueless, but then she started noticing everything that had to do with money. You never spoil me anymore, Mossy. You used to take me on shopping sprees every weekend, and now we're having a date at a fast food place? Portia stood up as if a roach had just crawled all over her, and she just left quickly as my pride left my body. The first time I realized Portia had actually left me was when I saw her at my buddy Leon's apartment where I was staying. The two were very unusually touchy. When I confronted Leon after, he told me the truth. Portia had been going out with all of my friends, probably to spite me. Bro, you know how she is. She just wants to see your feathers ruffled. She's been talking about wanting to see the yacht for years. Why don't you just take her out on your dad's yacht so you can remind her how rich you'll be when you inherit it all? I couldn't tell Leon why not. None of my friends knew I'd been cut off. I told them all I was just taking a break from my family. I most definitely had no access to anything my dad owned, least of all his yacht. So I worked tirelessly day and night. I even took up a couple part-time jobs besides going out with random girls for money. And then I rented a boat. It was much smaller than Dad's, but it was all I could afford. I texted Portia to come to the docks, and she was so excited to get back together. But the moment she saw the boat I was standing in front of, I could tell she was already disappointed. Oh, I thought you owned a yacht. Like, does this even have a room, air conditioning, a kitchen? Portia complained from the moment we pushed off the harbor and every other minute after. Is this it? Like, can't this boat go any faster or smoother? Where's your crew? Like, you don't even have any waiters. I swear, if you don't have something to impress me in the next 5 minutes, I'm calling the Coast Guard or swimming home just to get off this rust bucket. I didn't know what else to do. Except call her my most loyal customer, Anna. The moment she heard the panic in my voice, Anna was down to help. Calm down, sweetie. Mama will handle it. Anna was basically my sugar mom, only she and I were the same age. But to be completely honest, it wasn't just a transaction for me. I've had a huge crush on Anna the moment we met. She was hot, kind, and super rich, and she and I shared so much in common. Whenever I was with her, I felt happy. Like I could do anything. But I had to bottle up all those feelings because I thought it was just a business between us. And I was afraid I'd lose her as a client if I confessed. But this will be the last, okay? You know I don't like it when I have to help you impress some other girl. You should see my little surprise coming over the horizon right about now. I looked up and there it was. Anna was a lifesaver. But at the same time I was about to point the surprise out to Portia, she let out a screech. What is this? Portia was scrolling through Swindler looking for a date to replace me, and she saw my profile, and the profile was an ad for my boyfriend for hire services. Are you poor now? Like, how dare you keep this a secret? Well, obviously we're done. I'm not about to date anyone without a net worth of at least 10 million. And just as she said that, the seaplane landed right next to the boat. I took my stuff and boarded the plane. Thanks for showing me your true colors, babe. What? Where are you going? This was supposed to be my surprise for you, our romantic escapade. But since you just broke up with me, I'm gonna take the plane by myself. And you, well, good luck maneuvering the boat back to land. Bye! As soon as the plane was in the air, I called Anna. I told you that was the last one. Look out your window. What? Why? I thought you were going... Well, I'm free now. Wanna hang? I picked Anna up from her mansion, and then the plane delivered us to where her yacht was anchored. It was at least 3 times bigger than my dad's yacht, and that was when Anna asked me if I would be her boyfriend for real. And I said yes. I made sure we passed by where the tiny rented boat was before we went to Anna's private island. And the shock on Portia's face when she saw my quick upgrade was priceless. I told the captain to put the pedal to the metal, and when we passed the boat, it was engulfed in darkness from the mega yacht's shadow alone, and the waves we made sent the tiny boat wobbling on the water, sending Portia off her feet and onto her butt. After that magical getaway with Anna, I had a chance to reflect on who I was, and I realized I'd been a brat my whole life. I was arrogant and I played with people's feelings, and perhaps I deserved to be humbled, which Sadie was successful at. I definitely learned so much after I had to pay my own bills, so I came crawling back home to ask for her and my dad's forgiveness. And I also asked for their blessing, because on that island getaway, Anna asked me to marry her. Dad and Sadie welcomed me back into the family, and they welcomed Anna as their future daughter-in-law. We all made up, and Dad named me Air again. I left my frat bros. I felt like they were bad influences on me. All they cared about was partying and feeling superior. Besides, they dated Portia and totally betrayed me. Even Leon. And they all acted as if it was nothing. So as soon as I regained my status, I made sure I had nothing else to do with them. Instead, I volunteered at shelters. I built houses for the poor. And I made new friends doing that. Those friends were the real ones. They kept me humble, and they made a positive impact on mine and Anna's lives. My dad and I had a double wedding at Anna's Island after Dad broke the news that he finally proposed to Sadie. It turned out they weren't actually married yet. The ceremony was held on the beach just as the sun was setting, and there were no dry eyes after we all said our vows. Our families and friends were there. We treated them to a banquet worthy of kings and queens. The feasting lasted for 3 days and 3 nights, and during the celebrations, as the fireworks lit up the night sky, our guests caught a glimpse of Portia on the tiny boat still floating around. She had no idea how to get back to dry land. I couldn't help but laugh. And then I kissed my new wife, satisfied in the thought that I finally found the woman I truly loved, and glad to have dodged having to be with Portia my whole life.